What in the heck are these? Bee stings. So today's lesson is, if something is stinging you, get the hell out. It may seem obvious, but I don't know about you, but there have been so many times in my life where I've been in a painful situation and I just stayed hoping it would get better. Like it's hard to leave, even if someone is stinging you, even if a situation is terrible or abusive. Sometimes it takes us a while to leave. But if something is stinging you, get the hell out. Well, in the case, so I got stung by bees last weekend. We have some awesome boats and some docks, and by our little houseboat dock, the shoreline was all mud and like kind of sheer and eroding. So I had this project to grow plants there. It was kind of hard because it was windy and very sunny, kind of harsher conditions, but I'm prevailing. I kept trying, and actually I'm getting flowers to grow and everything. But I was putting solar lights in on the shoreline last weekend, and I put one in. Oh, I'd put a number in, but I put one in particular in, and then I felt it go down, and I felt, wow, the ground is really soft there. So then I went and put another one in, and then I felt a sting. And then I got like, I don't know, 8 or 9 stings on my ankles. Thank God I am not allergic, because if I were allergic, I would have been in the emergency room. And I didn't think it was that bad, but it stung for like 2 or 3 days, and then it turned to itching. It's like nearly a week later, and it still itches. But anyways, I wasn't sure what they were at first, but I'm pretty sure they were honeybees in the ground. Like, I wouldn't really realize the honeybees were in the ground. And the lake manager, who is amazing, is going to look into that and see how he can remove them. I was asking if maybe a beekeeper could take them out. But I was thinking about the life lesson. In that time, I did not delay. Thank God, because I felt the first sting. And I got out of there, and I still got like 9 stings, but then afterwards I went over and was sitting on the boat porch with my husband, and we were watching, and all these bees were coming out of the ground, swarming around the solar light post. Man, I would have been in the hospital if I hadn't moved. It's not applicable to every case, because there have been so many instances where I've been in a bad situation. And probably often I have stayed there longer than I should. But if you are changing a situation, you do need to do it thoughtfully, like if it's a bad relationship or a job or whatever. But that being said, start imagining your way out of it. Start planning and taking steps. If you're getting stung, it doesn't always mean that you can't return to the place. For example, it's not that I'm going to never return to my boat dock, but you might need to get the heck out of there at the time and then do something about it, report it to HR, or find a way to deal with the stinging so you don't get stung again. Or you might need to get out of the place and never return back. And I know for me, there have been relationships that I've stayed in too long. There have been jobs that made my life absolute hell, and I stayed in too long. And recently I've been studying the work of Martha Beck, and she talks about how terrible things that happen like that are basically the universe's way of pointing us north, toward our true north. Like, it'll make a situation so intolerable that you cannot possibly stand to stay there, because a lot of us will not change our situation until it's intolerable. So maybe I was in a relationship and it absolutely became intolerable to the point that I had to leave because the universe had something way better for me, and I would have hung on to that thing indefinitely. Maybe for my job, for teaching art, there were a few times, not this last job, but there was one situation that was absolutely deplorable. I was waking up in the middle of the night every night, crying with the stress of the situation and the dysfunction of the situation. And I should have been out of there earlier, but it was my career, so it was something that I loved, so it was really hard. And then I got the opportunity for the last job, which when I talk about leaving there, it was an awesome place and they were awesome students. Maybe sometimes the people that are kind of being assholes to you are doing the Lord's work. And maybe they're helping you move on. I don't know how it works. I'm not mad at the things that happened. I think forgiveness is great. If you've been cheated on, freaking forgive it. If you've been treated badly, given an unfair evaluation, like whatever, don't be angry about it. But it would have taken a lot for me to leave that because that was my career. That was my identity. That was my love. I love little kids. I love making art with them. I love art. Like, to get to do that for years, amazing. But I feel like this life is a limited time, and I had more things to experience, and there was something pushing me out of there and definitely telling me that it was not the place for me. Those things were coming in. And even when I was getting stung, I didn't leave like immediately like I did with the bees. It took a while, and it is honestly still taking a while to rip my heart away from that. But I did, and some really good things are coming from it, have come from it, will continue to come from it. And I'm not saying that if you're in one place, maybe it is your calling to be there for indefinitely, but for me, it wasn't. And so the singing was the universe, God, directing me elsewhere, because it was the idea of, like, I became more afraid of what if I don't leave? Like, what if I never experience the unknown? Then it was scarier to stay than to leave, because I felt like it clearly was not the right place, and there was something out there waiting for me on the other side. But it's scary because it's the freaking unknown, and I'm still in that. And but it's a really cool place of possibility, and the challenge for me and the challenge for a lot of us is getting comfortable in the unknown, because most of life is the unknown. Most of life is in between. And I guess what I need to learn, and maybe some of you need to learn, is that that's where the excitement is. We don't have to have it all figured out. It's an adventure, and it's beautiful. And don't stay there and endure the stinging. Look for where you're supposed to be, but you don't need to be bitter about it. You need to understand that maybe those stings are directing you toward your true north and where you're supposed to be.